All right, here it is, May 24th, 2020, the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. We're looking down at the Green Bridge, and you notice there's not very much activity here, but this being Memorial Day, Sunday before Memorial Day, this is typically when the trail ferries get going, so let's see where they're going to get going. It's very pretty in here. You might hear some bird action there in the background. Now, there's not much of a trail here. Some old flags. It's pretty rough, pretty easy to trip. Ooh, there's a banana slug. Wow, look at that. A lot of tree roots here. Kind of an undertaking for the trail ferries. And I think we'll try not to slip and fall. There's another one of those pink ribbons. And looking down toward the Green Bridge. And let's see what happens here next. Looking at the new SKYLINE, and here you see a couple of perfectly arrived buckets. How about that? And there is the tackle right there. Wow. All right, it's Monday, June 8th, about 11 o'clock in the morning. Looking down at the Green Bridge, and it looks like there's been some progress here, so let's check it out. It's real nice, about, I don't know, 60 degrees in here. You might hear some birds. Look at this. Now we're talking. Those trail ferries have been hard at it. Even built a little retaining wall there. I don't know if you remember the pink ribbon from last time. And here's some new yet to be paved. We'll take you down here and show you something pretty clever. I see those buckets. They are suspended from a SKYLINE that goes all the way to the other side. So those trail ferries aren't dumb after all. I'm not suggesting ever that they were. And this is the end of the works. My feet. We'll take you to a spot that might be changing here pretty soon. This is the leaning tan oak with a pink ribbon. And as you can see, not much of a trail, but I think that's all going to change. And I think that's it for now. Okay, it's Saturday, June 13th, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're here at the LAUNCHPAD. Wheelbarrow with some rock there. Another couple buckets there. Some gear. And this is the LAUNCHPAD. See this cable? The cable got strung by the trail ferries, I guess. And we're gonna launch one here and see how this goes. This is one of those watch this things. So anything can happen, right? Okay, there we go. Now notice that we're just gonna spool out from the bucket here and give it a good launch and say fare thee well and see if it makes it to the other side. As the rope spools out from the bucket. And I can tell by that crash and the empty bucket that it made it. Woo-ha! All right, it's June 18th, 2020, near the solstice. It's about, 4:30 in the afternoon, and Mr. Thermometer says that it's in the low 80s Fahrenheit. We're going to take a walk down the trail and see what the temperature's like down there. Here we go. We call this the grotto. At least I do. No place to trip and fall in here, yet. Started this 6 or 7 years ago. The riser's here about 9 inches, so it's quite the walk. But it's already cooling off. We'll take a temperature read at the bottom. Boy, I'd say it's cooled off about almost 5 degrees here. Give you a look around here. Hear the birds. Hi, birds. Thank you. Looking up the trail. And back down. I feel pretty lucky to live here. I think the birds do too. You might recognize that. We've been there before. Take a look around. Look back. Up the trail. Thank you, Mr. Bird, or Ms. Bird. Very green in here. Very lush. Nice timing there on the bird chirp. And let's see what Mr. Thermometer says down here. Not quite 5 degrees, but a lot nicer. We'll get the rest later. And we're here at the job site. This is the landing where it looks like the trail ferries took the SKYLINE down. It's nice and cool in here. And as you can see, it's about, I don't know, 75 maybe? How about that? Look across before the SKYLINE gets taken out. See you later. Okay, here it is. It's June 27th, 2020, middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's about 1 o'clock p.m., obviously. It's about 60 degrees here. What we're looking at, these are the new works here this year, but I'm going to show you a recent discovery, which I think is kind of neat. Now, you see this tree here. I'll try to zoom in on it. You can barely see what look like 3 axe marks in it. I did not make those. Now, let's look at this other tree. You'll see 3 axe marks on it. This means a property line. Now I'll show you a recent discovery next. What I'm going to do is we're going to line these 2 trees up, and you'll see what is the property line and how the trail goes right along the property line. When I was growing up, I was told the property line went down the bottom of the gulch. So this is newly discovered real estate. I'll show you a little bit more about this in a minute. Now we're here on our way up to the SKYLINE landing, and this is where those trees line up. Let's look around here. And they line up kind of right there, meaning all these trees are new real estate. But I'll show you something else. this is called the SKYLINE landing because that's where the SKYLINE was anchored. That little hole is where the eye bolt went. Now, we're going to be looking for markers that will indicate the property line. I'll show you the next one. This used to be the leaning tan oak. It's still a leaning tan oak. It's just not leaning over the trail. Here's the end of the trail, the improved trail as indicated by the marker. We're going to head overland here. I don't see any more blaze marks. Oh, look at that. That's not one of my flags. That's somebody else's flag. That's a property line. So once again, new real estate. You can see the unimproved trail is kind of a challenge. This is a gigantic redwood. That's my flag right there. I'll take that off here one of these days. Now we're gonna go along and I'll show you. There's my, where is it? My flag. This notes where the trail is. Now, here you see it. Here's the property line. You can see we are squarely on our property. Another foot marker on the trail. I think we're going to leave this unimproved, as rough as it is. There's another trail marker. Breeze up through here. Sorry for the jumpiness. A lot of really nice big trees here. Like I say, new real estate. I try not to fall. That would be a wreck. And there's another marker. Maybe I could document a fall and wind up on YouTube. Okay, now we're going to come down to a familiar spot here in a second. Yep, it's a little rough. There's another marker. And another. And here is where the trail left off last year. And of course, my feet. Now, if I'm not mistaken, do this carefully, that oak right there has 3 blaze marks on it too. Which means we're not exactly on our property here. There's the trail that goes down to the waterfall bridge, and you can hear the creek there. I think we'll probably start it, or rather stop it here and pick it up later. Give you a good look around. It's real pretty down here. About, I don't know, 55 to 60 degrees. Looking up the trail, and I think we'll end it right there.